Hello my dear class 10 students. If you want to score 80 out of 80 in your upcoming English exam, then stop. This video is just for you. Here's everything that you need to do to score 80 out of 80 in your upcoming English exam, right? So do not worry, your Ekta ma'am here, we will take you to the 80 out of 80 in your English, okay? So let's start. Before we begin, you should know what is your 80 marks, what is by getting 80 marks I mean. So you have 80 marks of what? Of your exam, and 20 marks come from your internals, right? Your internals have already been done. We need to focus on the 80, this 80 that are coming from your upcoming English exam, which is on 21st of February, right? So in this 80, you have 20 marks coming from your reading section, 10 marks coming from your grammar section, and writing skill section also consists of 10 marks, and then 40 marks are coming from your literature, which consists of your two books, Footprints Without Feet and The First Flight, right? So let's decode them one by one and what you need to focus on so that you can score full marks in your upcoming English exam. So let's start with the mistakes, my dear students. What mistakes most students do? They start by reading summary. Okay, what they do, they just read the summary. Instead, what you should do, you should watch a video where the whole chapter is being summarized, or any video, 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever time is there. You watch that one video, then you make your notes. After watching that summary video, because we are humans, we learn better if we learn visually, okay? Visual representation, whenever you watch a movie, you remember it for a really long time rather than reading anything. So instead of reading, do one thing, watch it, okay? Watch the summary, then make the notes immediately after watching it, okay? So that you do not forget it at all. Then what most students do, they miss the important keywords. Now, my dear students, what examiner is looking for, they are looking for the NCERT language in your answers, because the answer key that is coming is following the NCERT, is coming straight from the NCERT. The words are straight from the NCERT. If you do not use the keywords that are written in NCERT, you are gonna lose marks, my dear students. Then you have, they do not do answer writing practice. What most students do not do, they do not practice answer writing. They do not write their answers regularly. They do not learn how to, how to write a 3-mark question, how to write a 5-mark question, how to write a 6-mark question, how to attempt a reading comprehension question, how to write the writing skill question. They do not practice them, and if they eyeball it in the paper itself, they are gonna lose marks. Then they do not do grammar practice. You should practice your grammar. If you do not practice your grammar, you are going to lose marks majorly. Not reading comprehension what most students do, they do not read the poems properly. What I mean by reading poem is that you read the theme of the poem, what the poet is trying to say, what is the hidden message in the poem, okay? So you need to know everything about a poem before going to attempt them in the exam, okay? Because questions are not coming straight forward from a poem. The examiner wants to know the theme of the poem, what do you understand by the theme of the poem, what do you understand by the message of the poem, what is the poet trying to say, okay? That is your understanding, okay? So read them properly and learn them properly, okay? Now let's start with the literature section. How do you deal with the literature section? So 3 things are there. First, you should study poems in details. Learn about the theme of the poem, the message of the poem, what is the poet trying to say. Learn all these things, right? Detailed explanation of your poems is very, very important, okay? Second, for the prose section, you need to do these 2 things, summary plus keywords. Summary, we do not have time def, right? So what you should do, you should listen or watch any summary video of a chapter, right? And then immediate after make the notes. And then one more thing, there are some keywords written in NCERT. Follow those keywords. If you write those keywords in your answer, you're gonna score extra marks, my dear students. Yes, the examiner is looking for exactly these keywords. And how do you underline them? Use a pencil and underline all the important keywords that you feel like if the examiner sees, they are gonna give you extra marks, okay? Now, third thing is character sketches are very important. In English, character sketches play a very major role. 5 to 6 mark question comes directly from them. So focus on the character sketches, for example, of Natalia or Lenchu, right? Now, to simplify it for you a little bit, in First Flight, we have around 8 9 chapters, right? Now we have around 10 chapters. So out of these 10 chapters, focus first on these 4 chapters. I do not mean to say that you skip those rest chapters, but what I mean to say is that from these chapters, major portion is coming. Like every year, questions are getting asked from these chapters only. So whenever you're sitting down and learning English, so start with these chapters: A Letter to God, Nelson Mandela, From the Diary of Anne Frank, and Madam Rides the Bus. Finish these chapters first and then move on to the rest of your chapters. Similarly, for poems, you have 10 poems, right? So like out of these 10 poems, prioritize these poems first. Firstly, finish these poems, the theme, central message, whatever the poet is trying to say. Learn for these poems: Dust of Snow, Fire and Ice, A Tiger in the Zoo, The Bold Poem, and Amanda. Okay. Now, what about the next book, ma'am? From Footprints Without Feet. You have 6 chapters that are of utter importance. Focus on them first: A Triumph of Surgery, Midnight Visitor, The Making of a Scientist, Footprints Without Feet, Bholi, and The Necklace. Okay. Firstly, do these chapters, then after that move on to the next chapters, because if you do these, 60-70% portion is coming from these chapters only. Okay. The rest 30% portion you need to cover from the other chapters. Now, next section, which is grammar. In grammar, you should know, firstly, it is coming for 10 marks. Okay, and what topics are there in grammar? Some topics have been deleted. Yes, some grammar topics have been deleted by CBSE for this session 25-26. So go check it out. There's a video I made about deleted topics from English syllabus. Okay. Now, in English grammar, basically, you have tenses, modals, subject-verb agreement, reported speech, error correction, or you can say gap filling also. It comes under the same category, gap filling. Okay. Now, out of these, if you analyze the last 6 to 10 years of PYQs, you see tenses. Question from tenses, reported speech, and error correction comes every year. So prioritize these. Okay, now how do you finish the grammar? So do not worry if you have not touched it, or if you are very unsure about it, do one thing: watch hacks. You have one shot of grammar. Any video you can find on YouTube, go there. One shot grammar, right? You will finish grammar in 1 to 2 hours max. Then immediately learn your notes. Whatever you have written, make your notes and revise them, right? But grammar does not come from the notes itself. Where does the grammar part you learn? It's actually from the previous year question papers. So solve the last 5 previous year question papers. You have around an average of 10 to 12 questions in each. So 50 to 55 questions will be there. Okay, 50 to 60 questions will be there. Solve these questions, you will identify the pattern. Then you will identify the pattern, that what kind of questions are being asked from tenses, what kind of tenses are they asking, is it simple level, is it complex sentences, what kind of sentences they are getting, what kind of questions are coming. You identify the pattern by solving the questions, my dear students. So focus on this. You solve the PYQs, watch a one shot, then make your notes, solve the last 5 year PYQs, they are a must. And then after that you identify the pattern, what kind of questions and what topic questions are coming most in your board exams. Okay. Next is your writing section. In writing section, you have a letter. You have to write a letter for 5 marks. And you have to write an analytical paragraph for 5 marks also. Now, what is analytical paragraph? It means you will be given some graphical data, some chart or anything. Any mathematical data you will be given, and you will be asked to write that data in English. You will be asked to write that data in words actually. How do you depict that data? What is there in the data? What is the inference? What is the conclusion you draw from that? Okay. So you write it in about 100 and 120 words. Remember one thing, there is a format. I have made one video about complete English grammar hacks. There I have given all the formats. Do check it out if you do not want to lose marks in English. Okay, so in here you write one single paragraph that is of 100 and 120 words. Use words like increased, decreased, furthermore. Comparative words are being used because you are comparing the data. You are comparing the graphical data. Okay. In letter, the format is very, very important. Mark it, because in letter, if you mess with the format, you are going to lose these marks. Okay. Second thing, word limit. Letters have a word limit of 100 to 120 words. Okay. Let us have a word limit of 100 and 120 words. Do not over that word limit. Okay. Practice these things every day. Okay. Now, last is your reading section. How do you deal with the reading section? Practice. You just practice. Every day you sit down for 20 minutes. you solve 1, 2 reading comprehension, right? Any reading comprehension you can find, and then every day you practice it. Every day start with the questions first, then go to the key, then go to the paragraph comprehension. You look for the answers of the questions in the comprehension. Okay, firstly you read the question, and then you know what answer to look for in your comprehension. Okay, and that's how you deal with the reading section, my dear students. Okay, and that was it. So if you have any other doubts, or if you want me to make any other video of any other regarding to English, any other topic, do mention that in the comment section. And all the best for your boards.